Yo, it's the Southern Guna in the building with another reaction video. Hope everyone is doing well. Make sure you hit that bell so that you can like, share, and subscribe. We've got a doozy here today. As we know, the Arsenal PR machine never takes a day off. And we've got a great video here we're going to react to. And we've also got an additional video that we're going to react to as well. Hope that you enjoy these two pieces. We're going to start off with the first elephant in the room. Going to go ahead and get things set up. You can also see by the thumbnail that is out there. We're going to react here to this video. As we all know, Arsenal are in process of trying to get Kai Havertz over the line. And so now we've got a section of the fan base that is now stating that Kai Havertz was on their wish list. So we're gonna get into this. I saw the caption. I said, "Oh, this has to be reacted to." So I'm going to be watching this for the very first time. So we're gonna go ahead and get this crunk up here, and let's all have a nice watch, and let's see what Brother Harry has to say here. Let's fire it up. I think we're good. If I can get this here.
Really up for this. I like it. I like it. I have to say, I've had a lot of tweets over the last few days of people saying, no, this is a bad idea. Can't believe Arsenal going anywhere near this. And it was funny because last week when the news broke, I think it was on Friday afternoon where the reports really started to gather pace. That morning we recorded an episode of the podcast and drew up our transfer wish list. And one of the players on mine was genuinely Kai Havertz before I even knew that this was a thing. And the reason for that is because clearly Chelsea need to move players on. Clearly.
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now, for the record, I do watch Harry Simia from time to time when I can catch him. I could be wrong. Somebody in the chat below, let me know if I'm out of order. I have never heard Harry sit up and say anything positive about Kai Havertz. I have not heard him say it. And I've watched a lot of Harry over the last year or two. I have not heard it. Number two, I saw more Arsenal fans bantering Kai Havertz than asking for him. Not one time this year have I heard an Arsenal fan say they want Kai Havertz. Not one, not two, not three. Nobody has stated they wanted this gentleman at the club. What you have here is you have a reality sinking in that this player is on his way to the football club. And so now Arsenal fans are going to try to come in because they know this is garbage signing. We all know this is garbage. Because we all know we were in for Rice and Salcedo. If you follow me, you know I've been saying that for the last 6-7 months. We put the bids in for two men. For those two men, we should have came right back in, did what we need to do, and be done. That's a story for another time. But right here in front of our face is the Arsenal PR machine playing out at its finest. This is it right here. Because nobody was asking for Kai Havertz. Nobody was looking for Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz was not even in the discussion. But now, since the last week has passed, now all of a sudden, because like I just said, a reality is starting to happen. The fans are now starting to turn and pivot. It's, oh, well, you know, Kai Havertz, he offers this and that and this and that and that and this. I'll tell you what he's offered. Last season, he offered 7 goals, 1 assist, and 30 starts. So, pardon me, 7 games. It's one of these crazy stats. I have to go look it up. I think it's 7 games, 7 goals, 1 assist, 0. I can't remember what it is right now, but it's putrid. If you go look up last year's stats, somebody drop it down in the chat below for me when you get it right. I'm so discombobulated with the whole Kai Havertz thing. Just go look. I believe it's 7 appearances, 1 goal, and 0 0 assists in 32 games. I think that's it. I can't quite remember exactly what it is, but we all know he hadn't offered anything but 19 goals in 3 years. Why did we go out and sign Trossard if we're going to go with Kai Havertz? Because the same excuse I've been hearing, and I'm not sure like I said, I hadn't watched it, so I'm not sure if he's going to say it. But I know the excuses I've been hearing. One of the main ones I've heard is that, he can play across the front. He can do all this, that, and the third. So why did we buy Trossard? See, what's going to happen is Trossard's going to hand in a transfer request probably sometime in August. He's going to say, I want to be out of here. Because if you're not playing me, I'm 28. I can go somewhere else and play and offer a little bit more. This is nuts.
He's a talented player. It hasn't quite worked out there, but you feel like there would be an appetite on Chelsea's side to allow this to go through. And if the player's pushing it too, then you could probably get him at a really reasonable price. I think he's just 24 years old and he's still got lots to offer. I think in terms of what Arsenal have up front in Gabriel Jesus, there are a lot of similarities between him and Kai Havertz, which make it a really, really good fit. He's versatile, can play across the front three.
See, there it is. Heard it. There it is.
He's very intelligent in his movement, is comfortable dropping into deeper positions, which is something that Arsenal do with their centre forward really often. He isn't a natural goal scorer. You can say that about Jesus too, but the way that they both link people up, I think, is key. My problem...
Wait a minute. So once again, I just brought this up right before. Once again, why did we buy Trossard? What was the purpose? Because he does every single thing that he just stated. He does it all. All right, I'll tell you what. What this is a classic example of the main targets that we wanted. We're probably not going to get them. Rice might get done. Salcedo, we know, is not getting done. They're trying to save face. They want this to be some kind of hype-up signing. This is one of those hype-up signings. Want to get the shirt sales rolling for when they get here in America. This is bull crap. And I'm trying to keep it PG. This is bull crap. This is Arsenal PR at its finest. Enough is enough of this, man. Harry is sitting here acting as if he has supported this man for the last 3 or 4 years. And if I was to go back through that catalog, I have not heard him. Well, Arsenal should be looking in on Harry Simeon. On Kai Havertz. He should be looking in on Kai Havertz. Absolutely not. Absolutely not, man. This is they're going to try to spin this the best way they can. And we all know this is unnecessary. This is an unnecessary signing. 50 million euros they're talking about for this deal. Possibly 60. Just let that sink in. Think about the players we could have got for that. You talk about, goal scorers. What? Dusan Vlahovic is sitting out there. 50 million. I'm sure that Juventus might would sit up for that. So you're telling me that we don't have the money to spend on a proper 20-plus goal striker that we're crying out for right now? We're crying out for a 20-plus goal striker. What does history teach us? Excuse me. What does history teach us about Gabriel Jesus? He scored maybe he usually stays in the mid-teens, early to mid-teens in scoring. This is historical. He plays better on the wing. This is historical. We're out here crying out for goals. Nketiah is not going to do it. What in the hell make people think Kai Havertz is going to do it? Kai Havertz drops back in the midfield. We're getting overran. He can't play. He can't defend. Zinchenko sitting up there with him. He can't defend. Jorginho, he's too slow. Thomas Partey is about to be gone. Possibly. Declan Rice is coming in. He's not going to be able to do it all by himself. We're creating a mess for no reason.
Everything I'm hearing there is about the Kai Havertz that I knew coming to the Premier League, the one that I'd watched at Bayer Leverkusen, the one that I thought was going to be a hit at Chelsea. I do think that there is a key issue around how he was used in that Chelsea team and the fact that they tried to play him as an out-and-out 9 when Lukaku didn't work out, when they didn't manage to sign somebody, when they've got so many of those very similar attacking players at Chelsea, and he was the one who ended up getting thrown through the middle. But there was a period of time last season where, when it comes to that final moment in the box, when it comes to the stars are in your eyes, the moment is there, and he just didn't look like he had the composure as a finisher to play in that straight-up role. That doesn't mean I don't think he's a good footballer. I just don't like the idea of Arsenal playing him in that position. So how does he fit into the Arsenal formation with the team you've got?
Now, without watching this, I want you to watch. I want you all in the chat and those who are watching the replay, watch this spin that's coming up. Watch this spin. I already know. He's going to hype this thing up. He's going to give Havertz so many qualities, unseen qualities, unknown. Well, he can do this. He's done that when he was at Leverkusen. They're going over here. They're going over there. All over there. They're going to just break this thing down the best way they can. And people are not looking at all this stuff. Just watch. Let's watch the spin.
Well, I mentioned their versatility, and I think that's key. I think if you look at the people that Mikel Arteta's targeted over the last 18 months or so, versatility's been right at the top.
Versatility.
In terms of players that can play in multiple positions. And Kai Havertz could play left. He could play right, he could play through the middle. There's some suggestion that he might even play in a more advanced midfield role, with Arsenal sort of obviously moving on, it seems anyway, from Granit Xhaka and changing things up on that left side of the midfield. So there's a lot of options, and that's what I really like about Kai Havertz, is that he would tick a lot of those boxes. Some would say jack of all trades, master of none. You could maybe level that at somebody like Kai Havertz. But when we go back to what you just said about maybe not taking the big moments, not finishing chances, I think a lot of that is down to confidence.
I mean, did you catch that? Did y'all catch that? Did you catch that? He went back to my man's point before that basically said the guy can't score. That's all he was saying. He said it in a nice way. Guy can't score when it counts. Harry comes up and goes, oh, it comes down to confidence. It comes down to confidence. It comes down to confidence. This man has been in the Premier League for 3 years. 3 years. Why are we taking on rehab? Why are we rehabilitating players? When did Arsenal get into the rehabilitation business? Let's rehab Chelsea rejects. Let's just rehab their players. Let's rehab Willian. Let's rehab Jorginho. Let's rehab Gallus. Let's rehab Benayoun. Let's rehab these players. Why are we Chelsea's retirement home? See, fans like this, they get on these shows. And instead of saying, hey, this is not what the club needs. We need XYZ. They get on and they reinforce the foolishness. And so now you've got Harry here trying to spin this as if, oh, well, all we need to do is get Kai Havertz a little confidence and he'll be banging in the goals. And then he'll provide us with versatility, another one of those keywords that Arsenal likes to use, and then we'll be good to go. Well, that's not the case. We know that's not the case.
Playing him in that position. So how does he fit into the Arsenal formation with the team we've got right now? Well, I mentioned their versatility, and I think that's key. I think if you look at the people that Mikel Arteta's targeted over the last 18 months or so, versatility's been right at the top of the wish list in terms of players that can play in multiple positions. And Kai Havertz could play left, he could play right, he could play through the middle. There's some suggestion that he might even play in a more advanced midfield role, with Arsenal sort of obviously moving on, it seems anyway, from Granit Xhaka and changing things up on that left side of the midfield. So there's a lot of options, and that's what I really like about Havertz, is that he would tick a lot of those boxes. Some would say jack of all trades, master of none. You could maybe level that at somebody like Kai Havertz. But when we go back to what you just said about maybe not taking the big moments, not finishing chances, I think a lot of that is down to confidence. I don't think there's any question about Kai Havertz's level of talent. So I think in the right environment, under the right coach, I'd be quite confident that you'd see a better version of Kai Havertz than the one we've seen at Chelsea over the last 2 seasons.
It wasn't just a little bit of confidence, though. It was full on, couldn't hit a cow's backside with a banjo type stuff. It was properly poor. And exactly. I don't know, like when he steps up to take a penalty, and I just never feel that confidence in him as somebody watching, as somebody who did like the idea of him and how he fit in. And I think the thing that adds to that for me is he's gone to Chelsea for just a little north of 60 million, rising to, I think, 70 with add-ons was the original quote. Don't know how many of those add-ons he's achieved. For me, he's less of a player than he was when he came from Germany. Arsenal are going to pay what Chelsea paid for him, maybe slightly more. I know the market might change slightly, but I don't know. I feel like if you're getting Kai Havertz for a bargain cut price 45 million, because they need to offload people, I'm taking it. For 70, I'm asking questions.
Yeah, and I agree with you in that sense, because for me as well, there was a ceiling at which I'd be confident for Arsenal. So when we did the podcast on it, we said
system is acting stupid here.
£50 million, it makes sense. And he falls into a bracket that a lot of players fall into for me this summer. Where
he's an Arsenal special.
Right? You do it and you go for
the PR, the computer is going haywire here. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch it up here. And that basically, you see what I'm talking about with the Arsenal spin. Y'all basically see that. It's a case of you've got people out there in the media, and instead of them addressing the issues that we're having, we need a defensive midfielder. We need quality. We're going to the Champions League. We need to tighten up. Everybody was saying we're going to get these signings. We're going to go here, there, over yonder. We're not. What you're seeing now is that the individuals are in place. They're going along with this crap situation with Kai Havertz, and instead of asking for what we need and saying this is what we need, they're going along with this thing, and they're trying to basically try to sell you on water is wet. It's what they're doing. Water's not wet. This is what they're doing. This is what the PR machine is doing. We'll try to get this next piece of video up right quick here. This is going to be a doozy. This is going to be a doozy. Because this piece of video backs right up what when it comes to this PR machine, what it's all about. And I'm tired of it, man. This Arsenal PR machine is just rolling. We're in dire straits, y'all. We're going into this thing next year. Everybody was on their backs about, oh well, we qualify for the Champions League. What good is qualifying for the Champions League if we have no intentions of even trying to win it? Next season, we get 5 spots for the Champions League. The team is going to be content with just getting 5. Oh well, we just as long as we finish 5th, we'll be good. We'll qualify for Europe. You know, we'll give it we'll run out of team, because see, when you look at this thing look at it rationally, people are saying, well, we're going to challenge for the title next year. Why the hell didn't we challenge for it this year? What we had the title in our hands. We had it in our hands. Those are all questions that need to be asked. One thing that I've learned about Arsenal, and one thing I've learned about its fan base, is that our fan base basically will adapt whatever the Arsenal brand latches on to. So if they excuse everything, then the fans are going to do the same exact thing. Now this next piece of video is another piece of video. This is, sometimes if you look hard enough, you'll find gold in these streets. And you find gold and you have to listen. So a lot of times I tell people, listen with your third ear. I want you to hear what my brother Stuart Robson, who he has kept it real from day one. Day one. He kept it real from day one. I want you to watch and listen very closely to what was said.
With Arsenal, and then went and worked for Arsenal TV when Arsene Wenger was in charge, and then was asked not to work for Arsenal TV anymore because of some of the comments that he made.
Well, so you got it wrong straight away, Dan. You got it wrong straight away.
Sorry.
What happened was Arsenal came to me and said, we hear you, we like what you do for us, but we hear you on other channels and you criticised Arsene Wenger. Can you not do that? I said, well, you're about a tenth of my workload. Wow. And I'm not going to change and lie for you just so that I can be Mr. Pro Arsenal. So I, in the end, decided that it wasn't right for me to work for.
Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Does this not sound like what we see all the time? What did we just see from Mr. Simeon? What did we just see? Huh? And you gonna tell me that the brand is not trying to just spin this thing? Arsenal don't want to be held accountable. They don't want to be held accountable. They want to be perfect. They want to unicorns and ponies is what they want. When somebody like Stuart Robson, who's has invested into the club, says, "Oh, well, Arsene Wenger is not up to snuff. Well, we got to get him off Arsenal TV. We got to get him out of here. We got to get him out. Hey, man, don't do that. Don't say that." So what makes you think that they're not out here telling these super fans and powerhouse panels that, oh, well, we need you all to spend X, Y, and Z. For Simeon to get up there and put up there, oh, he was on my wish list. Now find me 12 Arsenal fans that had Kai Havertz on their wish list. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to PR spin. The patrol. Blue flashing lights. They're out. The blue and red flashing lights are out. It is out of order. Now, I want you to listen to this now. Listen.
So it was my choice, not theirs at the time.
Now, without blowing smoke here, to Robbo.
Yes.
I've known Robbo for many a year.
Right.
And this is the thing with this job. Robbo does not shirk his responsibilities to call a situation out or anything. And it winds me up in these club channels. And by the way, a lot of networks, and particularly in the UK, a lot of networks seem to have turned into parodies of the club channels, where they hire pundits who are basically cheerleaders.
Boom! Told you, gold, 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 gold. What do we have here? What have I said? What has Lee Gunner been telling y'all for the last year or two? Huh? Told you, these super fans. You get into the events, you get tickets, you get juice, you get crackers, you get pamphlets and programs, banners, hats, t-shirts, early kits, socks, headphones. You get all the good stuff. And what do you see? They don't want to be held accountable. They want your money, though. They don't want to be held accountable. And I can't think of his name right now, right up on the screen. I can't call it right now. Called Craig Burley. Craig Burley is 100% correct. He's sitting there. He knows. This is not just from Arsenal. This goes all the way down the line. Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, all Man U, everybody, some of these teams, they do not want the pundits on calling it like it is. They don't want real journalism. They don't want people calling it out. They don't want what happened at the final at the final Arsenal Trust meeting there some years ago. Those who know what I'm talking about. They don't want to be held accountable. They don't want it. They don't want to be held accountable. And so what they do is they reach out and they tell the pundits, no, don't say that, please. And then when they finally get enough of it, they strip them away and they blackball them. But you get somebody like Martin Keown that gets on there and argue it out. It's unbelievable.
Yes.
And they've all got their own team, and they sit there and scream and shout when their supposed team is winning or losing. And it's just my opinion, but that's completely the wrong way to do this job. It's, not if you work for Arsenal TV or Man City TV or Chelsea TV. Or, that's fine. Your level of criticism will only be accepted to a certain extent. You have to understand that. So for anybody who does the job like we do, club channels are not for us.
Right.
They're just not for us. And I tell you what, I wouldn't check.
And Craig, it's not only just not for you. It's not for anybody that wants to criticize constructively what's going on at the club. I mean, it's ridiculous, man. Where football in England has gotten so soft that you can't criticize what's going on. I mean, Arsenal are raising ticket prices, high kit prices. Everything is, they're making money hand over fist. And then they'll come out and tell you we can't afford to get 2 players. And then what make it even worse is you've got people sitting on Twitter saying that anybody that's talking about Caicedo is a 14-year-old. But then they'll be the first one to buy the new kit, go to the game, go out there and turn it up. While and then the minute City decides they want to, let's go get in trouble. They cheated. They didn't do it. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. They find excuses. When are people going to get tired of it? It's right there for you to see. It's all a PR stunt. Just look at the Kai Havertz deal. Look at this past weekend. PSG turned down by Arteta. We didn't even have to know about that. There was no reason that we even had to know about that. That was put out there to drum up support. In a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, maybe later in the year, they'll try to re-sign Arteta to another deal. Granted, them blow it all the way out the park, blow it completely at the start of the season. You watch what I tell you, man. Watch.
Is that for a minute? Because I couldn't sit there kissing backsides like these club channels do. And quite frankly, some of these pundits now on these networks in the UK who sit there and they basically sit with their Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea scarves on when there's a broadcast on.
Well, here's an example. Here's an example of what we're talking about. A little while ago, I think it was Gary Neville and Martin Tyler did a commentary on an Arsenal game, and they said Arsenal had bottled it, or whatever they said. And a former Arsenal player who works for other TV channels said that they should never ever work on Arsenal games again because they were biased against Arsenal.
Boom! Another one. Look at this. Receipt after receipt after receipt after receipt after receipt. Stewart, my man. Stewart pulling out the receipts. Brother, this is what I'm talking about, man. The Arsenal PR machine is unmatched. Unmatched. You cannot defeat it. You've got pundits over there. Anybody that speaks against Arsenal, they should be out of their job because they said we bottled the league. Fact, we did bottle the league. Fact, we blew it. Fact, we're 2 weeks into the transfer window and we're sitting up here submitting a 4th or 5th bid for Declan Rice when we knew what the price was back in January. Fact, we turned around, we put in another bid for Caicedo and it didn't work. Fact, we're sitting here going for Kai Havertz, a player that we were not even linked to or no discussions about, but we're trying to clean it up to try to sell it on. Hey, this is a player we can come in, we can turn this player around, we can save money, we can do this, we can bail Chelsea out. Fact. When is the madness going to stop at this football club? And I'm sorry. I told people, if you're watching me on League Gunners Late, I said, we blow this title, I'm coming for heads. We blew the title, so guess what I'm doing? I am holding up my end of the bargain. It is absolutely ridiculous that we're sitting here 2 weeks into the transfer window. Declan Rice is still not done. Caicedo is that's going ice cold. He's probably going to Chelsea more than likely, if I'm not mistaken. And then you've got Kai Havertz at the carpet for $50 million euros. And you've got people going on radio shows telling folks that this guy has for versatility. It can move all around the pitch. It can do a job. It can go into the Granite Shackle Road to do all this, that, and the third. And then you got my man here, Stuart Robson, telling y'all that people are putting in phone calls to him. Craig Burley sitting up there saying that the same thing. And then you got other pundits saying that because you speak out against Arsenal, you shouldn't be on have something to say. Where the hell is effective journalism these days? Journalism has lost its art. The fact of the matter is, most of these clubs don't want to be held accountable. They just want to get an easy paycheck, get an executive to get them coffee, and they just want to throw out a documentary, an Amazon documentary here and there, and then that's it. Or in Tottenham's case, you just want to have concerts. You want to have White Snake and Rage Against the Machine concerts, ticker tape parades, NFL. Patriots and Green Bay Packers. That's what they want. Anything that's not football winning related. And yet what happens is the same people get pissed off when they watch Man City hoist up trophies, or watch Real Madrid hoist up trophies, or watch Bayern Munich hoist up trophies. Until English football changes its priority, there's only going to be one winner in all of this. And it damn sure won't be Arsenal. I can tell you that. Because we don't care about football right now. We care about foolishness. That's all we care about. And until fans decide to wake the hell up and start asking questions about why we can't compete and why are we not getting in the signings after we were sold, getting into the Champions League will get us a better graded player. Because right now, Kai Havertz is not a better graded player. He is no upgrade on what we already have. And until fans start doing that, we're going to keep going through this same charade over and over and over. Stuart, take us home, bro.
Martin Keown was
What a
that,
load of
was that
rubbish.
Martin Keown who said that, Robbo?
Well, yes, that's exactly who it was.
Oh,
You know,
no,
and
I think
there's
that's
somebody that's on
amazing.
TV that doesn't like anybody else having a go at Arsenal. Well, that's biased commentating. That's biased reporting. You can't be that if you're going to be on TV.
Oh, we've got to start.
Well, goodness, we haven't even got to the question. We're just setting up the question.
Well, it's ridiculous now.
Kieran, how aware of the play? Like, this is the question. What did the Arsenal dressing room really think of Robbo's feud with Arsene Wenger? Were you even aware of it?
What year was it?
I'm not going to play all that. If you want to watch it, go check out ESPN FC. The point made here is that, once again, the PR patrol is cruising the streets, and they are constantly perusing the parameters, and they're trying to get the best news that they can put out about the football club. There was no person that I know of personally, and that I know of online that I've seen running around asking for Kai Havertz. That is a classic example of Arsenal spin, and I'm calling it out. Now, whether you're with me, that's on you. If you're against me, that's on you too. But I'm just calling you calling it like it is. The facts are the facts. The facts are the facts. And it has to be called out. Like I said, not good enough. The club does not want to be criticized. They want to be praised at all costs. And that's just not good football. That's just not the way it's going to work. Especially coming off a season where you bottle the league. 200 plus days at the top. And nothing to show for it outside of European qualification. Ladies and gentlemen, hope that you enjoyed this reaction video. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I am Matt the Southern Gooner. I will be back with another one. But for right now, I'm out. Peace.